Welcome to the Action Sturge. We'll be playing some Blades in the Dark tonight, which is a wonderful uh, gothic horror action crime game, and it's super fun. And tonight I've got Paul here with us and Maddie, aka Fork Puff. Now you can catch Paul around. Paul, where can people find you?
So I play in a bunch of streams. I have a good time filling my life with all sorts of nerdy stuff. One I will definitely rep today is the Goblin Cave TV. They are good friends, for me, and they do raid the Action Search a few times as well. Good people. They are on Sunday, 7:30 to 11 p.m. EST. Over the holiday period, they're delayed, but
Yeah,
they'll be on every time. They're on YouTube at the moment, but they're going to be moving over to Twitch. Goblin Cave TV on
nice,
YouTube.
nice. And tell us a little bit about Professor Hamilton as well.
Oh yeah, of course. So Professor Hamilton, or Hammy, as he's kindly referred to by Lester, is a whisperer who works at Duskville University. So whisperer is kind of like a gothic Victorian ghost mage kind of thing. He can commune with ghosts and the ghost veil. He can do mystical powers, and he can like talk to a book, a bit like the Harry Potter situations. Very curious and arcane in his nature. He's an old man.
Excellent. And then Maddie, introduce yourself, and then introduce Lester as well.
Hi, I'm Maddie, or otherwise known as Fork Pup. I'm playing Lester. He is the Hound. He's kind of sneaky, scouting. He has a cute little falcon named Tiberius. He uses a sniper rifle a lot, and he's grumpy, smokes, drinks, all that good jazz.
Excellent. And then my name is John. I will be the uh, GM tonight. I can't remember if there's a specific name for it in Blades in the Dark, but I'll be playing everything else. So let's get down to it.
He's the one doing all the work.
Well, luckily, the nature of this game allows me to share that workload with the players. So we're gonna start off. It's a beautiful Duskvalian day, and by that I mean the
Fog.
street, yeah, incredibly foggy. The streets are dim, and there might be a light drizzle of something that's not exactly water falling from the sky. It's more of like a slick, oily substance, kind of drizzling from the sky, and Les, you are sitting in the hideout, which is surprisingly vacant as of right now, and you're kind of sitting there by yourself. Now you have just earlier, maybe a couple hours ago, you sent Dinkelman
Dinkles.
Dinkles. You sent Dinkles out on an assignment to procure a silencer for you, something that you've had your eye on that is being held by the Deathland Scavengers. And it's a bit of an antique, cost an entire coin, which is more than you have in your pockets at the moment. So you sent Dinkles out to maybe get his hands on this thing through nefarious means or other. And so you're kind of waiting, and after a couple hours, Dinkles returns. Unfortunately, he returns empty-handed. He kind of trudges in, and he shows you his empty hands, and he says, "Sorry, boss. I did what I could, but those Deathland Scavengers, they're a pretty tough customer, and look, I can't go back to prison just yet."
Yeah, and he'll kind of take the cigarette from his lips, and he's gonna look up at him, raise his eyebrows, and then he'll throw the cigarette down and like squash it out and go, I guess I'll just have to get it another time.
And Dinkles will stand there for a moment, waiting for you to like hit him or maybe like burn him with your cigarette or something like that. But when you don't, he's a little confused, and but he will eventually kind of shuffle off towards the back of the hideout where the other ticklers are playing cards.
Yeah, if anything, I kind of put like a hand on his shoulder and I'll be like, "Good job, anyway, Dinkles." And then I'll like go stand out in the rain and be like brooding and edgy.
Okay, nice.
With
So
my
yeah,
hat.
so you're actually out of the hideout now, and maybe like up on the bridge that the entrance to your guys' hideout is under. So so you're gonna like up on the bridge. This drizzly Duskvalian day, and you've got like a cigarette that you're sort of shielding from the rain, and out of the fog, another individual will approach you. Maybe you see him, maybe you don't, but it's definitely Professor Hamilton.
But I imagine he has an umbrella.
Absolutely. No, I am wearing a full purse bowler hat
Oh
with
my
a very fancy umbrella. I'm dressed in an overall, which is covering, my normal attire because I don't want to get it dirty. With a cane in one hand in case I slip.
Now, I do have to ask, since we are your guys' headquarters or your base is in Silkshore, I do have to ask, which is kind of like a seedier part of Duskfall. Like that's where all that's where the red light district is, and all the brothels and stuff like that. Do you sort of are you concealing your identity a little bit with your umbrella, or
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got the umbrella's kind of close, the bowler hat's kind of deep, and he's also got his collar kind of up. Right?
Okay.
He's got his beard tucked away, so he's kind of like looking down. He's trying to look fancy in a way that people shouldn't disturb him in this area if they know what's good for them.
Right. Okay. I love it.
So yeah, he'll walk up, cane in hand, walking ever so slightly. Hey, hello, Lester. What are you doing out here? It's cold.
Hey, Hammy. I don't need a dad.
No, clearly not. You already have one, or had one.
Don't know where he is.
It's okay, I never much knew my father either. That's quite alright. We
What
should go
are-
inside. It's cold out here.
Bad news. Dinkles couldn't get me the silencer I needed.
Oh? Oh, was he not able to find it?
He was able to find it. It was a matter of bringing the price down a little bit.
Oh, what was he asking?
One whole coin.
Oh, that's a lot of money, yeah. That's a lot of woolah. Where did he find this object?
What were they called again? The Deathlanders?
Deathland Scavengers.
Deathlands Scavengers. The Deathlands
Oh.
Scavengers.
Of course, Terry's compatriots, I believe.
Yeah, and they aren't one to haggle with.
Sorry, Reginald's compatriots, I believe. No, yeah, they're definitely a rough tag bunch of handlers, that's for sure. I'm not surprised the Ticklers had trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the
Especially
Ticklers
Dinkle.
as a name is not very threatening, is it? When I think about it.
You gotta think about it more in a torture sort of aspect, I think. I don't know.
Oh, you're probably right. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. Where is Dinkle anyway?
In the base, playing cards with the rest of the ticklers.
I'll have to catch up with them when I head in. I'll wait out here with you for a while though, and I'll kind of like share my umbrella slightly,
Yeah,
move
you're
it
gonna,
over
like,
to help
scoot
cover
over.
him. Yeah, I'm gonna scoot over ever so slightly and just rest my cane against the railing and just hold the umbrella slightly over here so it covers Lester too. Or this way. There you go.
Yeah, he'll take like he'll like quietly like chuckle to himself, but like kind of duck under the umbrella with him. How's the family?
Wonderful. My daughter's recently nailed her ballet recital. She got A+ marks from her teachers. My wife is doing amazing work with her knitting recently. I don't know if you can tell, but my new lapel, and he's going to show off his new lapel. Yeah, she did this work. It's really good. Can you tell? There's lots of love here.
Absolutely lovely.
Mm.
Also,
I reckon she could sell them.
One second, the dog is like playing with a bug, and I
There's a dog unless they get distracted.
It's his falcon.
Of course, yeah. Tiberius?
Tiberius. I completely forgot about the falcon, so I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because so did I. I can't remember it had a name.
Tiberius, yeah, I think Tiberius.
It was Tiberius.
Yeah.
I nailed it. Hey, Maddie, what was your bird called again? Was it Tiberius?
Tiberius, yes.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, sorry. He was like, I saw him like pawing at it, and I was like, "What is he?" And then I saw him like open mouth going at it, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get rid of it." Okay.
Yeah, the thing they do when they kind of surround it with their mouth.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
doesn't really bite it. He's just like, ah.
Do I bite? Do I not? I don't know.
What is this? But yeah, I will admire the lapel and give it a not bad look.
She's just very talented. I reckon she would sell them.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm very proud.
That's not how she's made her fortune.
Oh no, she inherited it. Why'd you think I married? No, I married for love, which was a wonderful distraction in this dreary town.
Yeah, how did y'all meet again?
So I was coming off the docks when I was working on many of the ships that leave the Ghost Vale into the various fog outside. And she was there with her father trying to procure Leviathan parts. As a seasoned sailor, I was able to negotiate on her behalf, and that got me an in with her father. Once I had an in with the father, I continually appeared more and more in her life, naturally, because I was working with the father on acquiring various parts for his studies of the ghosts and other things that he does that I can't describe, because that would be, unfortunately, very dangerous for me to describe. The work that he does is, yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm working with him to accomplish some of those objectives. Engrossed me with her, and then we kind of started talking when I was waiting for the father to come back from his work so we could talk about other work, and then we went from there. And it was just a naturally forming relationship that started after a few years of getting to know her. And she's a wonderfully complex character. She's very, very forthright, which I appreciate quite a lot. A lot of the people in my life, especially in our line of work, are very, they're very subtle and cunning. So it's quite nice to go home and just experience absolute truth, even if it's bad.
And blunt.
And very, very blunt. She's a blunt instrument, and the tune that she plays is one that I adore.
Natural love, huh?
It took many years.
Yeah, wouldn't know a thing. Yeah, back to being brooding.
Oh, not yet.
Not ever.
It's Reginald and Horatio also down there, or are they somewhere else?
That's a good luck trying to find Horatio enough as there is. Little guys just sneaking around every corner.
That's
As
true.
For Reginald, I think he might be out gathering some materials. Something. Don't know what.
Oh, he was working on a project as well, yes. He's doing his own thing.
He also might be training with Sawtooth again as well.
Oh, that's true. He did express a acuity for the biological and healing arts, didn't he? I think he was studying to become a part-time doctor or something, like a Sawtooth.
Well, when I ended up spraining my ankle on that one mission, he was able to help me with that, so...
Oh. His studies must be coming along quite thoroughly then. Wonderful. Someone of that skill set would be remarkably useful in our gang.
Yes.
And so, as you guys are chit-chatting on the bridge here, a young street rat is going to approach suddenly from the fog, or emerge suddenly from the fog, and sort of stand off to the distance. I mean, just in your guys' lines of sight. You can tell he is sort of peering at the two of you and approaching very very cautiously, as if he's trying to make out who you are in the fog.
Yeah, I'm
Keep my
gonna.
lapel up.
Yeah, I'm gonna like look at you and then look to the kid, rat, whatever the hell he is, street rat, and I'm going to I'm gonna say, "You need help with something?"
Mr. Lester?
Ugh, don't call me by my full name. It's Les. What do you need?
And he says, he sort of jumps up and he says, "Oh, good. Here." And he hands you a slip of paper, which is a little damp. He's been keeping it in his what passes for a pocket in his little vest, which is thoroughly soaked. And so so he's going to hand you this slip of paper, and he says, the lady called Celine asked me to deliver this to you. She said you would pay.
I would pay. And I I pat down my pockets almost as if to pay. There's a hole in one. There's.
You do see him eyeing your cigarette.
Oh. You like Marlboros? Want one?
I'm gonna hand the kid my cane. I think you'll find this is engraved in silver, young man, and if you took it down to a certain trader, you'd get quite a pretty penny for it. Just make sure you hide it. It can fold up, okay?
Yeah, and his eyes grow wide. He's like, I could buy a whole pack of cigarettes with this. And
Well,
then
maybe buy food first. That's your choice, young man, but I'd advise buying yourself some food.
And he says, "Thanks, mister." And he's going to he's going to disappear back into the fog.
That's my favorite cane.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that.
No, I felt sorry for the kid. I was there once. I think we all were. It will help him a lot.
Open up that that note and read it.
Okay. Yeah, the note it's very brief. It just says, where's your guys' like favorite meeting spot? Did we talk about that before?
Wasn't it the Crippled Bear?
Yeah, there was a pub, wasn't there? Or an inn.
Yeah.
It might have been the Crippled Bear.
Yeah. So it's just a location and a time.
The Crippled Bear and a time.
Time very soon, actually.
And I know it's her handwriting, and I know it's her from this kid.
Yes. She signs it in a way that only you would know it was her.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go, oh, jeez.
Someone you know?
Women troubles.
Oh, really?
Don't.
Well, now we must investigate further.
God.
Is it a midnight rendezvous?
It is not a rendezvous. We're strictly friends, and she happens to be the one that ratted us out last time.
Oh, that yes. Well, I kind
Which-
of knew, but I wanted you to tell me.
Yeah, and I'll just like look unamused at that, and I'll look the other way, and I'll say, I don't think she had a choice in the matter, though. She's not one to snitch.
No, most certainly not. If pressure came from the people that I know it would do in that environment, she would have no choice. They'd either find it one way or the other. You're correct.
Blue
Well,
coats,
she
you know.
hasn't-
Yeah.
She hasn't snitched on me this long, so something must have really.
She works for
wanna-
noble society. The blue coats are involved. It's not a pretty picture.
I just don't want to talk about And I'll just hang my head.
You may not want to talk about it, but clearly she needs something from you. So, do you still see her as your friend?
Yeah, she's my friend, and it just sucks, and it's a shitty situation all around, and
It does suck, but in these situations, you need to suck well. Be a good friend.
uh, it's just so awkward.
There's a T-shirt there somewhere.
It was just the kind of weird, almost innuendo perverted thing I think an old man would say in absolute seriousness.
Hammy.
Ham. What a ham.
Well, this ham thinks that you should be with your bacon.
She's not. What? Would you quit? You can't get very far with that cane now, so quit.
You know what? You're actually right. I'm going to rest against the banister a bit. You know, it took a lot out of me to get here. Okay.
I mean, I'll go.
Can we take a carriage?
And I'm gonna look at you and raise an eyebrow.
Okay, fine. I'll take a carriage.
Wait, that's not what I'm getting at. You're already like climbing in one. Toodaloo.
No, we'll walk. It could do my old body some good. Besides, I don't really want to get picked up in this area.
You're coming with me.
Of course. Wouldn't dare let you go by yourself. You might embarrass yourself.
I wouldn't. And then he's like, you can sit at the bar and mind your business.
Okay, very well. I will mind my business at the bar, but I'll be there if you need backup. Also, on the off chance that it could be a trap.
I will shoot you a look if I need your help.
What? I'm afraid my eyesight isn't very good. Is it possible we could have like a verbal thing?
What were you thinking?
I don't know, a code word perhaps? McGilligan?
McGilligan, perfect. Let's get going. It's cold.
This is almost.
Yeah, I agree. His nipple.
This is almost bordering on job territory.
I know. It's very close.
Move on to planning and engagement.
Yeah.
So you guys will as you approach the crippled bear, it is raucous as normal. People are a lot of people are standing outside, smoking and in conversations. There's a heavy scent of incense or some kind of herbs being burned as you approach. Very very heavy odor.
Like a drug kind of odor?
Like a what?
Like a druggy odor?
A drug? Yeah, kind of. There's yeah, absolutely. Like these it's not just for to smell good. Like it's definitely like there's an effect by directly inhaling.
We've been exposed to this quite a few times, these drugs in these kind of areas. Like in Silkshore, I'd imagine there'd be quite a lot, and one of the jobs had them as well.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't meander too long, like the second hand, it's not gonna like necessarily like you're not gonna
there's no giant labels secondhand smoking.
You don't need to make an action roll to get to the door.
I'm glad to make that because I probably wouldn't make it.
Yeah, we get knocked out.
What is this, my boy?
I feel very dizzy all of it. Oh.
Without his cane, he's whacked.
Oh my god, yeah.
Exactly, I'd fall right down, break my hip.
So there's a gathering outside, and as you make your way to the door, you can see that the inside is full as well. It doesn't look like there's a single chair or table free in the entire place. The bar is pretty crowded itself. There's loud talking. There's a couple fights have broken out. People kind of like gambling, like betting on those fights, and then there's probably some some music as well, like very like not like upbeat music, but like almost like funeral dirgy kind of music, and
It suits the city.
yeah, and as you get in, Les, you're going to see that sort of up against one of the windowsills, Celine is standing there. She's got a drink. She's actually got two drinks. She's sort of leaning up against the windowsill, which is wide enough to just to lean up against and have a drink, have somewhere sort of like set your things, and yeah. So that's what you see. Hamilton, you can see the bar is crowded, but you can see people sort of regularly approaching and making space and ordering, and so it's sort of this ever constant shifting of bodies at the bar here.
100% trying to get myself inaugurated in the flow of people.
Okay.
Maybe I can do some bets on some fights as well afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll say keep out of the bar fights, would you?
I'll keep out of them, but I'll certainly bet on them. I know how to pick a winning horse.
And he'll give him a nod, and then he'll bob and weave his way through people in bar fights to get.
Before you go, Lester, sorry. What was the word again?
McGilligan.
Oh, thank you. Yes, sorry, I forgot.
Aren't you the one that suggested it? As I'm watching him like walk off, like I'm like
typical
hammy stuff, and then make my way to Celine.
Okay. Yes, Celine, who noticed as soon as you walked in, she nervously watches you approach, and the first thing she does is slide the drink over, and you can tell she's definitely out of I don't know, this whole kind of cloak and dagger thing. It's a little bit out of character for her. She's normally pretty straightforward with what she wants to do, but she looks as though she's being a little reserved. She's going to she's gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, I'll pick up my drink, take a swig, and well, Celine, spit it out.
And she'll take a sip and she'll say, I know. Sorry doesn't even cover it.
And he'll kind of look out the window for a moment wistfully, and then look back as if telling her to continue.
She says, they came back. They wanted more information.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. If I don't help them, then they are going to... I'll lose my position. I'll lose my job. And you can see she's actually fighting back tears a little bit. What was the girl's name that she watches over?
Oh, I think it's Cynthia. Let me double check that. Yeah, the Fletchersons. Cynthia Fletcherson.
So so she's fighting back tears, and she says, and of course, I'll lose Cynthia as well.
They being the Bluecoats, by the way.
And she nods and she says, that damn Darmot.
Yeah, I can't stand him. And he's like, God, this is so awkward, but like, perhaps The only resolution to this is if I stop visiting.
She says, no, that's not it. She says, the second I become not useful to him, he's going to have me removed from my position.
So we just
I don't know that much about what you do, Les. I've just been lying to him. I don't know what else to do, but I can't do this forever. I need your help, Les. Please. I know I betrayed you. I know I don't deserve it. And I'm so sorry, but please, Les, for Cynthia.
I'll help. Not just for Cynthia, but for and I'll look up at Hamilton for you as well. Because you're my friend, you know, just watching Hamilton with the thumbs ups and the and that's important to me.
She says, that's great. You don't know how happy that makes me, Les. I think you was a really good friend too.
Me too. The awkwardness between this small space too, like.
And at this point, let's hop over to Hammy. What's Hammy doing?
Well, trying to wind my way through the crowds of many inebriated people, trying to get myself a drink. It could be sludge. I've drunk sludge most of my life. I don't mind.
Yeah. This is definitely the lower end drinks. This is probably mushroom beer, which is which
I like mushrooms. Portobello mushrooms with cream sauce and a bit of garlic. Mmm.
Beer.
This contributes heavily to long-term brain damage. So
Yep.
this is the quality of drink we have here today.
My brain's already gone anyway.
So
there's not much left.
So you're able to mosey on up and get yourself a cup of this foul brew. And when you turn to check on Les again, you'll see that someone else has pushed themselves up to the bar, kind of right behind you. She's a very attractive woman, and this is probably not the first time you've seen her, but and even with all your garb on, she's gonna sort of squint at you and then give you a wink and say, "Professor, what are you doing here?"
Just enjoying myself a nice brew with my fellow man. How are thou?
She says, well, I don't come here to drink, but I do like the fights.
You know what? I think you're in luck today. There's some real strong horses out there. Shall we go peruse?
And she says, why don't we? And then you and Valeris will cross the bar.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who Valeris?
I can't win for losing.
And so, yeah. And so, so you guys will cross over there. Now fighting. There's going to be. It looks like you're actually going to see some gang colors here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got in the ring. We've got. Oh, let's look at some factions. We've got a Railjack and we've got a Docker.
Both built tough, yeah.
Yeah, or actually, what's the level up from a Docker? Who are those guys you fought when you were on the docks?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember.
Let's see, what were they called?
The guards of the warehouse, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they had a name.
they did. Let's see, Dockers. They're like a subsection of the Dockers. The grinders, yes. So you're
Right.
gonna see a grinder and a railjack, and they're duking it out, and you can tell just from their general aesthetic. I feel like everybody's got like a like a warrior's kind of this aesthetic, they're like
Yeah.
unique uniform, and the the railjack, he's getting the worst of it. I think this grinder might have this one in the bag. You can see across from the pit, though, you can see, or this little pit that's formed. You can see that somebody else is gearing up. Somebody who does not look as physically intimidating, but she is still wrapping her hands regardless, preparing to fight.
Do I recognize this lady?
Perhaps. She looks as though she might be affiliated with. Yeah, she looks like she might be affiliated with the Gondoliers.
Oh, okay. So it's
Um,
not Alala. I thought you were doing a backwards nod there. I was like, oh.
Oh, I
okay.
wish that's actually fantastic.
Ah,
But no, this looks like she might be affiliated with the Gondoliers. I don't think you may have seen her in passing, since you guys
Yeah.
have some dealings with the Gondoliers, but I don't think you know her by name.
well, as a professor of the arcane and biology and other various fields, I think I would try and look at it from a outlander and a logical point of view as
Mhm.
bystander, and try and see like the muscle structure, like which one's been working out more, which one's got more muscles in certain areas, and then make my decision based on that. So that might be a role, maybe.
Possibly. Let's
Study or survey, perhaps?
Mm,
yeah, sure.
Survey, you observe the situation and anticipate outcomes.
it's definitely more
Study.
applicable.
You scrutinize details and interpret evidence.
Yeah, sure. I think either one would be fine for me.
I'll use study. That's definitely the way that he'd study the person. Is kind of how I imagine it.
He's
'Cause
in there poking their muscles. No.
But no, from a distance, yeah, he kind of is. Like he's imagining being closer and kind of like inspecting the lower bits of the muscle, like maybe the ribs and things like that.
Or
So I
like
think
if they're kind of like relying on one hip more than the other because the other might be a little gimpy,
exactly.
stuff like that.
So for the audience at home, is this a risky, standard? How are we doing this? Controlled? We
I
choose
don't,
a difficulty.
I don't think this is an action roll. I think this might be more of a fall under more of the fortune roll.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Ooh.
So you can still use the amount of dice that you'd use for that action, but the effects aren't rated as such though. They're more they're a little bit easier to adjudicate.
4.
Okay.
Partial success.
Yeah, 4 is good. Oops. Yeah, so 4 is good. And I think you're going to notice something a little different about her. And because she definitely does not have the physical strength to match this grinder. She sort of has a lithe makeup. She is quite muscular. She has these sinewy kind of like tough muscle. But she, like I said, she has a very like sort of wiry frame. However, she is covered with tattoos, and they're remarkable to look at. But you do notice something about them when you're sort of inspecting. The ink has a quality to it that probably only an educated eye like yours could see. It almost has a shimmer to it. This could possibly be some magic ink.
Yeah. It's magic ink tattoos. That makes a lot of sense for the gondoliers. It also tracks with their the way that they operate. They do a lot of occult and magic stuff, so it does track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my lady, my money is definitely on the lady over there with the tattoos.
Valerius is going to she's going to give you a sly look, and she says, "Oh, so you noticed too, huh?"
It's a bit hard to miss for a chained eye, isn't it?
And she says, "That's what I was thinking." She says, she takes a look around the crowd, and she says, "I don't think anybody else is going to pick up on it. I'd say you stand to win some money, Professor."
One would hope, unless fate is not on my side. We'll have to see.
And somebody is coming around and taking bets. There seems to be one person, the most trustworthy among the crowd here, who seems to be he seems to be acting as sort of a broker. Just as the railjack gets sort of uppercut and then goes flying across the crippled bear, landing on someone's table. Mushroom beer is like splashing everywhere, and now that guy's getting pummeled by the table that he just crashed as well. So, and the grinder is sort of flexing and screaming, and I think he even maybe just punches someone out random at the crowd. maybe like the guy right next to you, Hammy.
Maybe we should take a step back.
She says, "What's wrong? You don't like front row seats to the action?"
Oh, I love a good action seat, but I'm afraid my body doesn't really anymore.
And she says, "Well, I've heard. I've heard you've been getting a lot of action lately."
Well,
I mean, that's my lady. That's none of your business. A gentleman never tattles the tails. Okay.
And she'll give a little laugh, a titter, if you will. Back over against the window. So while you guys are having your conversation, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but somebody flew through the air behind you and landed on a table, and there's like a ruckus. But that's millions of miles away from you right now, because you're having a conversation with Celine. So Celine, who's just called you a really good friend as well, she's relieved that you are going to help her. She just doesn't know how.
the issue with the blue coats is they're a big force, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. I'll just need to think.
She's like, if you can just get Darmit off my back, that would be enough.
Like, my mind immediately knows that Darmit is Horatio's rival.
We met.
And
Yeah.
I know I can use Horatio as leverage and or bait. Celine, why don't we set up an arrangement for Horatio and Darmit?
Okay.
Horatio is a target of Darmit's, and Darmit can never seem to get a hand on him. He'll get out of the situation, no problem. He's done it every time with ease.
Okay.
If I can get him off your tail, maybe he'll be more infatuated with trying to grab a hold of Horatio again.
All right. Operation set up Horatio. Got it. I'm gonna take note.
Hope he doesn't watch this.
I'm gonna take note. No more planning there. That's gonna be maybe something you talk to Horatio about. Maybe something you spring upon him during the midst of an operation.
gonna be he's got somebody he needs to meet, and that's all I'm gonna tell him. That's
So-
what that's going to be.
So we'll figure that out when he's here, and
He'll be less fixated on Celine and more fixated on Horatio.
and I think by the time your guys' conversation is ending, we can check back in with Hammy, and we can see that this gondolier, by virtue of the magic within her tattoos, is doing some significant damage to this grinder. She's very quick, so she can sort of dodge his sort of slow blows, and with her quickness, she seems to have this like this uncanny dexterity to just hit him right in the vital spots. So as she's dodging under his attack, she's hitting him with incredible force in these key areas, and sure enough, he is going to slump down to the ground, and he will be laid out flat. You're gonna hear lots of groans from the spectators, and let's see. I'll say 2 coin. Let's say 2 coin comes your way, Paul. Professor.
Oh, damn! Money, money, money.
And just as that coin comes your way, you will turn, and you'll see Les has finished his date, and Les, you will see.
It's not a date. It's not a date.
It's date.
all flustered and embarrassed.
And Les, you will see Professor Hamilton in the company of a beautiful woman whom you recognize, named Valeris.
Yeah, so I'll look up and I'll see Hammy, and then I'll look to his left and or right, and I'll go, fuck.
I met a friend.
And I just, You
Speaking
best
of
get
which,
out of here, Celine. This isn't your scene anyway.
And she'll go, and she'll kind of go to give you a hug, but she'll end up giving you a handshake instead.
Yeah, like, it's like this awkward, like, all right, I'll get that set up. And be safe. Send my regards to Cynthia, and we'll get this taken care of, okay?
And she says thank you, and before she heads off into the fog.
Now,
You're
how
right,
to
my lady.
approach this?
Well, we're going to approach you. That's not a problem.
I'm gonna hide.
So, after receiving my coins from this very trustworthy source, I'm going to talk to Valeris. Yeah, that was it. And say, well, your keen eye has once again served you very well. I suppose your keen eye has also spotted our common friend over there.
And she says, "Oh, Les? I didn't even notice him when I came in."
Well, you don't notice a strapping young man like that, and still noticed a, perturbed old rune like me?
And she says, "Well, Professor, to be honest, I didn't come here strictly for entertainment. I did have business on my mind."
Oh? Business is always best discussed over food and drink. And good company. Do you mind if we bring Lester over here?
She says, "Well, I see you have one. Allow me to provide the other." And she jingles her little bag of winnings as well, and she says, "I've just come into some money."
Small world.
And so, over some roast eel, there, you guys can discuss some business. You've managed to find a small table that hasn't been crushed by the brawls going on, and cleared out a way. Valeris kind of tips a drunk person out of their seat and brings a chair over, and As you guys sit down, this wonderful dish of roasted eel bits sits between you all. Les, how are you doing?
I am drumming my fingers across the top of the table, glaring at Prof.
You two know each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, intimately.
Oh. Okay, now I must know.
You don't need to know anything. And I'm like all like blushy and like, just what are you doing here? What do you need from us now?
Well, obviously she's jealous because you were just on another date.
I was not on another. I just pull my hat down and just grumble and.
I'm not surprised. He's very popular.
And she says, clearly.
It wasn't. Forget it. Why am I explaining myself to you? Both of you. Why am I explaining myself to both of you? I don't need to explain anything. What? I just take a sip of my drink.
I believe we were here on business, correct?
And she says, well, word around the dockyards is that someone made off with quite a bit of Leviathan blood.
I mean, I've heard and certainly seen the same things. The market seems to be filled with Leviathan blood these days, far more so than in my youth. Why, in my oh no, I'm gonna ramble. Sorry, carry on.
He just starts going off.
I'm gonna stop myself midway because I realize that we're in that environment.
He's self-aware.
She says,
For now.
she says, well, that's not the most interesting thing that I've heard. I've also heard that the people who stole that Leviathan blood might be working with some of the red sashes to distill that into some pretty heavy concoctions.
Distill Leviathan blood. That can only be distilled in certain ways. They must have access to a... Oh. Very interesting. Okay. With the red sashes, you say?
And then out of character, you guys did. It was with the red sashes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure I was.
I'm feigning.
Yeah, I know. it was too
You
good.
did it so genuinely.
I was like, oh shit, did I forget?
No, you're absolutely correct.
So she says, well, it's
quite the operation.
Well, and quite the operation would need quite the buyer. And I happen to know someone who'd be interested in some of the products.
I mean, your buyer, Lester, is this person trustworthy?
Just like... She can get a job done. I personally don't like her or believe anything she has to say. But when we worked in the past, she did an okay job.
And she says, okay. She says, every job I got done on you seemed to satisfy.
Prof has a hand to his mouth. Oh, damn!
And then she betrayed me.
She says, oh,
for profit?
my goodness. She says, are you still licking that old wound?
She's driven by money, Prof. Be careful.
Well, if she's driven by money, then she's most likely not going to screw the pooch on a deal of this magnitude, then.
Unless she gets her own cut out of it.
Well, that is also possible. But if she gets her own cut of it, she also gets cut out. She doesn't want that, I'm sure. We do know... I mean, personally, of course I don't. That's far too ruthless for my society. But people I know people in the Red Sashes, of course. I'm sure they could arrange a conversation between your buyer and the this operation the Red Sashes are apparently doing. I'm sure these people would know about it.
And she says, "Well, see, the difficulty lies not in simply procuring the product, but in transporting it."
I see. And you need experienced hands behind the wheel.
Yes, and then she'll nod slowly.
Do you have anyone in mind?
She says, "Well,
I've heard the Foghounds have recently been very active, with what they're dealing with the Hive and crashing their boat into the docks and whatnot. I'm sure they'd be a perfect choice."
She says, "Oh, perhaps you're right. Maybe I should reach out to them."
That was sarcasm, dear. Their boat exploded on the docks, and they have failed almost every mission they've done.
She says,
As you
"I'm,"
remember.
and then she'll smile. She says, "I'm quite well aware."
Okay, good.
And
Mind you, they did do something very impressive against the what were their names again? I can never remember them. They're always hanging around. The Warden, Wards.
The Spirit Wardens.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, the Spirit Wardens, of course. I think I remember hearing something about the Foghounds having some success against them. So obviously they're on the rise again. That's good. Good for them. They need a win. Although angering the Spirit Wardens for sure was not a smart decision. One could argue that would make them more vulnerable, and their future trades more vulnerable as well.
Full well knowing that was us.
Yep. Bullshitting out of my face here. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that, considering the appropriate risks and details were divulged, we could find the appropriate steady hands on the wheel.
And she says, "Good." Because these, I'm looking at the map real quick.
Carry on.
Trying to make sure I got my geography correct. Trying to make sure I got my...
Carry on, mate. No rush from me.
Where's my map?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the what's the place that's like right up towards the... Oh, there it is. Let's see.
Link to the interactive map if you want that.
Oh, thank you. I've just been able to pull it up. White Crown.
Ah, dangerous territory.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. White Crown, for anyone curious, is basically where all the centers of government are. It's where Duskwall Academy is. It's where all the absolute cream of the crust lives. It's on the border of the Ghostvale. It has some of the best protections. It's also one of the most heavily patrolled, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. So she says, I need someone who can get such a payload into White Crown.
Your buyer is from White Crown?
She says, my buyer wishes to remain somewhat anonymous. She says, couldn't you do it?
I cannot make any promises at this time about White Crown. I think you know this as well as I do. It's an incredibly well guarded, well patrolled place, and it's filled with people of such class that you don't want to tread on their toes. Now, I would need absolute assurance, and I mean absolute assurance, to even consider doing such a job, that your buyer was on the up and up.
Oh, my buyer's money is good.
Not his money, his purpose, dear.
Purpose. What do you mean?
Leviathan Blood has some very specific uses as a studier of the arcane and its many iterations. I would be concerned about distributing it to people who don't know what they're doing. And while White Crown is filled with the absolute cream of the crop, sometimes cream spoils.
And she says, she'll explain that it's not necessarily Leviathan blood that they're after. It's this person has a habit that they are trying to feed.
Would I remember that from the ship that we encountered from the first episodes when they were infected by Leviathan blood, or would I know about this affliction by studying at the university? Do you reckon?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
Because he does study biology and specifically like the Ghost Veil and its arcane properties. So if there was an affliction that afflicted people from Leviathan blood, he'd probably know about it. It was incredibly hush-hush. I mean, he's not, he's not the cream of the crop himself. His wife is, so he doesn't get told the important bits. Toughie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to think. Do I want to? Because I love looping back to previous things. When we discussed, so this would be maybe a little bit out of the scene. When we discussed, or that adventure on the Leviathan ship, the person who you were sent to retrieve, I remember, the Fletchersons sent you to retrieve that person. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I can't.
The captain of the ship.
I can't quite remember who the captain was to Lady Fletcherson.
He was a friend noble. He was of noble birth, so he was a member of the aristocracy or whatever. So he wasn't a hired man. He was a trusted captain of their fleet. So he was like a retainer, I guess, like an up and standing noble retainer is how I probably would describe it.
So would it be too out of the way to tie this with him?
I don't think so. I think he would he might not live in White Crown, but the Fletchersons... did the Fletchersons live in White Crown or did they live in Brightstone?
I think they live in Brightstone, I believe.
Yeah. Most people live in Brightstone. Like, only the Academy and the absolute top tier people live in White Crown. So I think, Brightstone's full of mansions and all sorts of other things, isn't it? It's probably there.
But if someone were receiving, like, treatment, so to speak...
White Crown, 100%.
Okay.
Because that's where they would study them in the nicest way. It's where the Hunter Commander lives, the person who basically tracks all of the ghosts and the Leviathans. Yeah, so it's about all of that. There's the Master Warden, who is the father of my wife. He's the one that controls all the ghosts underneath the city. There's basically thousands of jars filled with ghosts because the ghosts always escape, and the Spirit Wardens trap them, bring them back, and lock them inside of the... This is not common knowledge. This is very hush-hush.
Right.
But they lock it down underneath there. And Duskwell Academy assists in their study. So as a professor, I would know about that particular option.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very much an occult-filled, rich, hush-hush situation. If someone was trying to study the effects of Leviathan blood on people, they would most certainly do it in White Crown.
Okay, yeah. So this sounds like it could be tied to that, or maybe this is where your mind goes immediately.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything out loud because we're still trying to pin that whole Leviathan ship thing on someone else. I'm pretty sure it was a foxhound. Oops. Fuck you, Cal.
Now with that, the people using this, or the so the people using this on him. So this is still some pretty illegal stuff that's being manufactured by the Red Sashes, and this is pretty so it's not like they're not allowed to have it either.
No.
So hence all the secrecy and all the because it's still contraband even for them.
Absolutely, like it's still illegal at the end of the day. It's just that no one could touch the people in Whiterun even if they were caught. Right? They're so above it all. They don't give a frick. Like they're the people who are like basically the spirit wardens and everyone else. So, it's one of those situations, isn't it, where the Red Sashes could be done over. We could be done over. I might lose. You know, I have a lot to lose in this job because this directly puts us in a position of conflict or possible danger with the Master Warden, the Hunter Commander, and the other people who actually run the city. By smuggling in absolute contraband to an unknown source, even though that source might be them themselves. Hard to say.
Yeah. Well, the money is good though. She's going to she's going to give you a let's see what's good for a job like that, right? 1,000 coin. No.
Enough to retire on. Yeah, okay, sounds good. End the session there.
Yeah,
end the game there.
Boom. Done.
Done and dusted.
I don't know, honestly. I guess we could use the usual rating system and then do a negotiation at another time. I don't think this is something we can get up to today, but
yeah, that's fine. But I think this is definitely going to be an over like a 10+ coin job.
Oh, definitely. This is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah. So this is a big job. Of course, you got some time. The drugs aren't done yet. They're still in the oven, so to speak.
True.
So so she'll sort of leave that at your door.
Well, thank you very much for that tidbit of information. We will do our own due diligence, and if the opportunity presents itself, we will get back to you. I'm sure Lester knows where to find you.
Yep, and there at the door it will stay.
So she'll excuse herself, and she'll sort of mosey on out of the bar here. Clearly, this is the only thing she came here to do. So with that, you guys are left at the table by yourself.
So how was your date?
Wasn't a date. Celine says that Darmot, Horatio's buddy.
Oh yes, we've had the displeasure of meeting.
Yeah, he's been on her case. So I'm gonna send out one of our cohorts to Darmot to set up an arrangement for Horatio and Darmot. Meet in an alleyway. If he kills him, he kills him. If he gets away, he gets away. Horatio can handle himself.
You're right, he can. Using Horatio as bait, I see.
And I think Darmot's just might have forgotten. The main person he's harassing in all of this is supposed to be Horatio and not Celine.
You're right. He's probably using Celine to get to Horatio. There's clearly a vendetta between those two. Some kind of relationship has happened. I haven't pried because it's none of my business, but...
well, and good luck prying with Horatio if you can find him.
That's true. He's quite a stubborn lock.
Dotted outline. And
okay.
as for Valeris, we do need to be careful with her. I'm sure she's coming at us with the best of intentions as a cold-hearted bitch can.
I got that feeling as well.
Yeah, she has betrayed me in the past. I'm not forgiving of that.
It doesn't bode well, especially for a job as dangerous and as potentially life-threatening as this one. There are a few things more dangerous than smuggling illicit goods into Whiterun, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Personally, you know my situation. I would stand to lose everything over this.
And what's 10 coin to what your wife has? So,
Nothing. But
as your allowance allows as well.
well, my allowance has not been very good recently. She's not very happy with my activities. But I've got to feel young again sometimes, you know. I've got to expand my horizons, and there's a lot to learn and to keep track of in Duskfall, and you can't do that behind a desk. There's a lot you need to be on the ground to know, and a prime example of that is what we've just discovered. Someone in Whitecrown is doing experiments on people with Leviathan blood. Now, I don't know if you remember this. I'm keeping this hush-hush. Do you remember on the ship, there was that captain we recovered for the Fletchersons, the retainer?
Mm-hmm.
And he was oozing this blood, and his crewmates who had been exposed to it as well were also oozing, almost like they were being controlled by it. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And we successfully recovered the captain, got him back to the Fletchersons. It's not too much of a stretch to think maybe these two are related, and they need the Leviathan blood to do more experiments on him.
Well, and I could possibly go talk to Celine again. Don't get the wrong idea.
Oh, of course not.
Maybe they will offer another job, but that's besides the point.
Agreed. I'm almost insulted they didn't consult me about this. I'm almost one of the foremost experts in this field, and they didn't even bother asking.
I'm building a homeland place.
I'm literally doing all sorts of experiments with Leviathan blood. They didn't even ask me.
Don't you have somebody that is rivaling you in this sort of stuff at all?
I mean, I have, fellow professors who also dabble in the arts, but I would argue strongly that my experience trumps them all. There's, of course, Flint, who is a backwater criminal who just likes to peddle these kind of illicit and dangerous goods to people, but, I've gotten him in trouble quite a few times. I'm pretty sure he would stay out of my way. Note to self, he definitely wouldn't. He's my rival.
Yeah, and I'll go, just like how Valeris keeps her nose out of my business. Understand completely.
You know what? You make an excellent point. I really regret giving that kid my cane now. Now I've got nothing to defend myself. No, you're absolutely right. But this has been a very interesting and informative day, and I think we should top it off with a bit of shopping, don't you?
I can't turn down a bit of shopping.
Well, I've recently come into a bit of coin, and I know there's a certain piece of equipment that a young man such as yourself may need in his profession.
Yes.
Should we go see about that?
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go get Mr. Tickler. Oh, what was his name again?
Dinkles.
Dinkles. No wonder I didn't remember it.
Mr. Tickler. I really like that, though. You're so polite about everything and so, noble. You refer to them as Sir Tickler, or...
If I don't remember his name, it's Mr. Tickler.
Mr. Tickler.
I mean, they're the goons, right? I don't need to remember their names. Yeah, let's go see Mr. Tickler. Maybe he can take us to where he found this suppressor.
Oh, that's what you mean. And then he's Les is almost taken aback. I thought you meant just I don't know, cane shopping or something.
Oh, no, I've got a specialist. Don't worry, I'll craft one.
Oh, okay. Are you sure it's okay? I don't want to feel like you're I don't want to be indebted to you or anything. And just.
But I won this fair and square by rigging a fight.
Okay.
that lady was always going to win between you and me.
All right, if you insist.
Let's get off my back. Perhaps we can also find some stuff on my own project as well. I have some questions I need to ask them anyway. It may be more of Reginald's field of expertise, and I would like his input before, proceeding any further. But it can't hurt to ask about certain things. So I need to speak to them as well.
Sounds good.
So at the Deathland Scavenger Market, which is I imagine they basically live in kind of like a junkyard. There's like a plasma electric fence that sort of protects their lot. And then it's got like this gnarly blood-stained barbed wire atop the fence, and you can see it sort of pulsing with this this plasma electricity, and or electroplasmic electricity. And
Keep ghosts out, keep people out. Yeah.
yeah, and there's as you guys approach, there's a couple scavengers who sort of man the gate and kind of keep an eye on people who are coming in and going out. When you guys approach with Dinkles, the one woman at the entrance is gonna say, "Didn't we tell you to fuck off already?" And Dinkles is going to get sort of indignant, sort of puff his chest out, and you can see he's sort of reaching for his one of his club, and he says, "I'll show that little bitch," and he's getting ready to charge
Hold off on the
forward.
tickling. Hold off on the tickling.
I'll
for
tickle
a
her
second,
real
I think,
good,
'cause-
boss.
Yeah, instead of a club, it's just his creepy fingers. Like he's just like, oh.
Maybe it's a club in the shape of one finger,
Ew.
like
I'm gonna tickle her ribs.
It's like a really fat, stubby
Yeah.
finger. Like
I'm gonna tickle it. It's got feathers on either side of the finger, so it's extra ticklish.
it's so nasty.
I love how we're developing a theme for this gang that was made up from gifted subscriptions and complete craziness on a night. It's great. This is how greatness is born. Hold on for the tickling, Dinkle. We're here to talk business. This is my friend. He tells me that you have an item of value to a current operation that we are planning to do. I would like to purchase it. Could we please discuss this further?
She kind of looks you up and down. You look like you might have money, so she's gonna say, "Yeah, go on in," but he stays outside.
He's the only one who really knows this area. Is it possible he could escort us in? He's kind of our muscle. I mean, look at me. I'm an old man.
Are you talking about Dinkles?
Yeah.
At that, she's gonna scoff and give a little laugh, and she says, "I don't know. If you had money, maybe you'd be able to afford better muscle."
Oh, I have money, and I'll jingle the winnings.
And she says, "All right, but just don't let him touch anything. He caused a scene earlier."
Well, my sincere apologies about that.
I'll look up at Dinkles and like ask for an explanation. All right.
He tried to get this answer the only way he knew how. Tickling.
All right then. Keep your secrets.
You'll need to tickle him to find them out. This is one weakness.
Lead away, Dinkles.
So he'll resume his spot at the front, and like I said, it's like it's kind of like a junkyard. So there's like piles of junk everywhere. No rhyme or reason, it seems. However, as you get closer to like their headquarters, you can see these sort of tents have been set up, and this is apparently where they have the good stuff. And Dinkles will take you into to one of the tents, and he will take you to a table, and on the table there's a bunch of different little knickknacks and things, maybe like small statuettes or toys that were found in the Lost District, maybe some jewelry as well. But what's going to catch your eye less is the suppressor on the table.
Yeah, like ka-ching, dollar signs in my eyeballs. And I will walk up and not touch, but observe
Okay.
in all of its beauty.
And the woman behind the table, she's got her arms crossed. She's been watching you guys since she came in. She's definitely like side-eyeing Dinkles. But seeing your interest in the piece, she says, she kind of she comes over and she kind of looks you over and she says, "Do you even know what that thing does?"
Oh, absolutely. This is the final piece to my masterpiece.
And do you show her your masterpiece?
Yeah, I'll plop up my rifle there.
Yeah, she'll it's a fine rifle, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's like a
fine
yes,
weapon?
a fine long
Yeah.
rifle.
Yeah. So she's going to look at that and she's going to say, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "How much do you want for this?"
I am not selling, for a suppressor is not useful unless there's a gun with it.
And she's kind of like looking it over and she says, "Oh my god, that's real wood."
Yeah, and I'm like kind of like leaning back proudly, that it is, that it is.
And she says,
Have you named your weapon?
The Valeris.
Well,
You
because
can
she's
see-
always
you can
spouting
see-
fire.
You could see it was scratched out on the side.
It's like a tattoo. I love those tattoos where they have like cover it with something, right? But you can
Like
still
a
see the
black
letters.
square, like.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have a name yet.
It doesn't have to. I was just curious if it did.
No. Valeris was just to be funny.
So she's pretty enamored by your gun, and if you talk shop with her a little bit, she will she'll be pleased. I was gonna say maybe get this thing cheaper, but I don't think you can really go below 1 coin.
Other than like
Half
a
a
favor
coin.
or yeah, I'm pretty sure a coin's the lowest.
Yeah. So but let's see. Yeah. But she's really excited to talk to you. And I'll tell you what. She will actually become sort of a contact for you. She says she says if you're really into this stuff, we come across like old weapons out in the Lost District and the Deathlands from time to time. She says if you've got the coin, we could keep you informed.
Oh, absolutely. I will perhaps want to be on the market for an even better something like a scope in the future.
She says
Or I guess like a longer range scope.
yeah, she nods quietly. She's still kind of like looking at your gun, and if you are gonna let her hold it,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. So she'll be really like admiring the thing. She says when you say scope though, she'll be quiet for a second, and then she'll like register what you said, and she'll say, "Ha, yeah, maybe."
And I'll be like, oh, okay. That's why we're contacts. That's put my gun
And,
down, please.
Yeah, and she says, well, this has been a real treat. But if you want the suppressor, it'll be a coin.
Don't make me grovel, Prof.
Oh, not at all. I was enjoying our conversation. Sorry. I was also admiring your toys. I noticed there was a lovely little doll there. I have a child currently staying at my residence. I think it would enjoy that very much. How much for the suppressor and the doll?
And she says, I'll tell you what, if you buy the suppressor, I'll throw the doll in for free. Not much use
For our
to 'em.
continued patronage as well? Done
And,
deal.
She says she'll hand you the doll. It has like a little has like a ring on the back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like a wind-up ring or like a...
like a ring, like a string. So
Oh,
like when
okay.
you
I like
when you
the
pull on it, yeah.
pull.
So she's gonna hand it to you. She sees you notice the ring, and she kind of she demonstrates. She pulls it out, and it kind of makes this like crunchy kind of like sound. And she says, I don't know why anybody would ever want to listen to that, but you know.
It's almost unintelligible, yes.
She says, I guess it's broken. I don't know.
It's a
Like we have-
ghost incantation.
Well, is it?
Not that you know of.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no.
No, she just summoned.
No. It sounds like it might genuinely be broken.
Well, luckily, I think we have a shared acquaintance in a Professor Reginald, who is an inventor. I think you may have seen him around your scrapyard a few times. He may be able to fix it for me.
Yeah, she's like, oh, Reg? Yeah. Why didn't you say you were friends of Reg?
Oh, in our line of work, it does due diligence to get to know the people you're talking to first, doesn't it? And you seem like a fine group of people, so I'm perfectly happy to share that information now.
And she says, heck yeah. I miss that guy. I haven't seen him in a bit.
Oh, you haven't seen him either? We haven't either. I think he's out learning some new skills, I do believe. I think he's, keeping himself occupied as he would.
She says, well, last time he was here, he dropped a hefty sum, so I imagine he's trying to work it all back now.
Well, I'm sure work is good for that man. He seems to have a way of finding his way into work.
She says, well, if you see him, you tell him I said stop by sometime.
Will do.
We got some new tidbits he might be interested in.
Speaking of tidbits, while we're here, I don't suppose you come across the more... I don't know how to describe this. The more occult items, or are you mostly like a physical kind of guy?
Yeah, she says, in the Deathlands, we see it all.
I see.
Some of that stuff's better left out there.
Oh, like what?
She says, one of the scavengers we were scavenging with picked up a what they thought was like a I don't know what you call it. It's like a little globe, and you shake it, and it's got stuff in it, and it just like whoosh, like kind of like when a bunch of ash gets kicked up and it like falls down like an ash fall,
Okay.
So you shake it up and there's like ash inside, and it's like a little. She says, I don't know if any of that's making sense to you, but anyway, it just looked like a curious toy. But when he picked it up, his eyeballs turned inside out.
Oh, it's most certainly a relic of some kind. Yeah, dangerous stuff.
So stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I just wanted to make sure that I have some curiosities, and it seems like you come across those kind of objects. If I was to offer you a certain amount of coin, would that be something you would be looking to acquire for me?
She says, I don't know. Are you looking for anything in particular, or?
Not at this point, no, not this juncture. But for some time, I feel like this is a relationship that could develop into a very profitable one for both of us.
She says, well, a friend of Reg is a friend of mine, so check back from time to time.
Will do.
And,
what is her name?
Oh, her name is.
And can we add her to the Friends on Rival list?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Or
think you can.
I
You
can.
be like that list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is Tyra.
Tyra Banks.
Yes. No.
Tyra. And she
Nice.
is a, what are they called again?
Deathland Scavenger.
Unlike a lot of the other things, they seem very literal in their gang naming.
And she is Eruvian as well.
Oh, it's like a Lala.
Mhm.
Was.
I think. Well,
Oh no, that's something else.
No,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Alala was Tycherosi.
That was
She's
it.
Eruvian, so she's uh,
How do you spell Eruvian?
Iruvia. And Eruvia is a rich and powerful desert kingdom far to the south.
That's the one.
Although she is not necessarily, she does not look rich and powerful. She looks as though she is just trying to make her way here.
Yeah, fair. I mean, fair enough. We all are.
She
on
has
our
a
own way,
noble
aren't we?
heritage.
Yeah. she's like, we once were Persia, but now not so much.
So yeah. So there's that.
Okay, I will mark off a coin. I will hand the bag to Lester. I'll give him both coins in the bag.
Oh, you give it to who?
To you?
Me?
Yeah, you can pay.
Oh, okay. Cool thing. Beautiful. Got her
And
added.
keep the change.
Who, Les?
Yeah. I'm
Les.
trying to sneakily give Les a coin.
Les, you have a coin now.
Yes, one coin.
Well, you paying one for the silencer, but you have a coin extra.
Yeah, I have an allowance.
that's kind of true.
So you acquired a doll, and you've acquired your silencer.
Yeah, so the silencer, they don't have anything like it, so I just kind of made like
Yeah.
made one. The loadout on that, is it one or does it
I think it'd be
attach to the rifle?
I think it'd be a 0. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Load 0, and yeah, it will. I believe. I mean, I may have to like look at it to give it like a specific effect, but I think
Yeah.
it can fictionally be used to increase your chances of like not being seen, or like increase the effect of like of not being seen when you're sniping and stuff like that. So
I think a bit like the scout ability just picked up, right? So like you have to roll for detection. I think maybe
Yeah.
it can help with that because they can't see the muzzle flash because of the suppressor.
Mhm.
Obviously
Yeah.
negates
When you
that.
gather info to locate a target, you get +1 effect, and when you hide in a prepared position or use camouflage, you get +1 die to rolls.
Yeah,
to
so maybe
avoid
it's like
detection.
when you fire, they're less likely to spot your location as well as that. That's like you're like the ultimate sneaky assassin.
I'm
Yeah.
just not even there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that'll be good.
It's an option.
And I think that might be it. Is there anything else?
I found all the information I need, and I got a lovely toy for a asleep child who won't wake up. So I don't think she's going to care that the thing doesn't work. she's asleep.
Do you have your own children?
I got 2, yeah.
And you bought one for the
Well, they don't need to know. They have their own presents.
Okay.
Yeah, this I want to keep hush hush. Obviously, my wife knows that the girl is there. She's helping take care of her. But the staff are, I'm keeping the staff out of it as best I physically can. Maybe there's a specific nurse I have some dirt on or something that's doing the actual, cleaning of the little girl. Yeah, obviously the wife knows she's the charge of the house. Anything that goes on in there, she knows.
Yeah.
But keeping the kids out of it, 100%, because there's a ghost protecting that little girl. So, yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, that will be it then. That'll be our game for the night. Let's see. Should we have a final moment? What would the final moment be? I think the final moment might be sorry, I'm thinking of cooking up something particularly devious.
There's no rush.
Who's particularly despicable amongst your rivals? Kiel?
Well, he was, but then we extended the olive branch.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of been tempered, isn't he?
When you mean despicable, do you mean like just
Evil.
annoying or like
Like, I think genuinely evil is the idea. Like, who would go
genuinely evil?
out of their way to fuck us up a bit?
Fucking
Flint is a spirit trafficker, right? So this is my rival. Flint is a spirit trafficker. I believe strongly that arcane items and things like that should be controlled by people who know what they're doing. This guy sells them to anyone, doesn't care who he sells them to, so we immediately conflicted. He may want revenge because I got him in trouble with the Bluecoats. That may be an option, but I don't know what he could physically do to fuck me up. Obviously, there are quite a lot of vulnerabilities in Prof's character and with his recent activities. But, like, how he actively would know that isn't easy to kind of figure out. I think there might be maybe, hopefully, an easier, eviler option if you're looking for that. If you're looking for something less, less blunt and evil, then yeah, that would work.
well, who's everybody's rivals? Darmit, Flint, Valeris,
And Melista,
Melista,
the lady.
and Cal.
Yeah. And Cal's like our common enemy, but right now not so much because you say we've established
White flags have been put up.
Maybe the Hive.
Here's a question: how out and about does your wife get?
Uh-oh.
Oh, she attends all sorts of clubs. She's part of the book club, knitting clubs, and other bits
Parties.
and bobs. Parties, yeah.
But she doesn't really leave the district.
No.
Okay.
No. She often travels in carriages with guards and things like that because she's the daughter of the one of the most prevalent men in the city. So she's always under guard. She never leaves Brightstone. She might go to White Crown, but she never goes anywhere else.
Okay.
If you're looking for something like that, one of my daughters may attend something elsewhere, but for the same reason, they probably wouldn't.
That's what I was
thinking.
They're
the grandchildren. My life matters very little in comparison to the grandchildren of one of the most powerful men or man or woman. It's man-in-law, but it can be woman. Who cares? In Duskville.
Right. So
I get the feeling they would be lock and key. I suppose that could make it even more suspenseful, though, if they were able to get access to those people.
No, that's all right. I think I'm gonna sit on this one. Maybe save it for a future entanglement.
Yeah, I think that's smart. When the gang's reputation is developed a bit, so that they're more aware of what's happening in my association, it's easier to pin it.
All right. So with that would be the game then.
Hell of a sesh. Very glad to be playing Blaze in the Dark again. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And Paul, again, where can they find you? And probably everywhere, it seems like. But just go to Twitch. You'll probably see Paul on a stream.
I play a lot of extreme games. I fill my life with things I love, and that so happens to be, stream D&D. Mostly for the video aspect. I love seeing the people I'm playing with. It really adds a lot to me personally. Because COVID's such a grade A bitch, it means that actually seeing people in person is slightly more difficult. So I am in a lot of games. That's true. Do you want the full list, or do you want?
Just whatever you want to.
I think once again we'll mention the Goblin Cave TV. Crash, the guy who runs it, is an incredible talent. He spends a lot of effort doing what he's doing. He spent years developing a brand and a way of doing things, and he has some really very talented people that do a lot of the background work for him as well. So there's a lot of organization going there. So definitely deserves recognition for that, because all the effort that group puts in should be recognized in my mind.
Absolutely.
I'm very pleased to mention that I'm a part of one of their games on Sundays. there's the City of Mist is the system, which is powered by the Apocalypse, the TTRPG.
Yeah.
And it's Sundays, and the timing of that is currently, if I can find the schedule again, it's currently 7:30 to 11 p.m. It's called the Knights of Pain University. It's currently only on YouTube, but it's probably going to be moving over to Twitch sometime soon. And that is EST on Sundays.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you with us, Paul.
Pleasure is always mine.
And of course, the lovely Fork Puff, always. And thank you so much for hanging out. This will be posted directly to YouTube. So if you're on our YouTube and you haven't, subscribe and hit the like button for all it's worth and all that good stuff. And we'll see you back for the next one. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.